Hello, welcome back. My name is Frank, and my position here at Nutrimeals is to oversee the cooking and all the production that we do in the kitchen. I work with an amazing team, and our objective is to provide you with the best and nutritional food that we can bring you. My culinary history is that honestly, I've been working in this industry for about 15 years, from Grand Prairie, Alberta, all the way to Montreal. So I've been across the country. I've worked with amazing chefs who taught me so many things. And all this knowledge has brought me to this company. So what we're doing today, we'll be making a Hoisin beef bowl. In the previous video, Miss Grace showed you guys how to make the pancake breakfast. So today we're gonna take a field trip all the way to Asia. We're gonna go specifically to one of Asia's largest countries and largest populated country on our planet, which is China. And we're gonna make the Hoisin beef bowl. And the sauce is in Mandarin, it's translated as fish sauce, even though there's no fish or anything of that nature in the sauce itself or the dish. However, that's just a translation. What we're gonna need is some red cabbage. We have some ground beef, green onions, broccoli, a pepper, a lime, and we have minced garlic. We have sriracha and the Hoisin sauce itself. Prep your oven to at least 375 degrees, and you will need to make sure that you have about 2 pots, one with water in it just boiling so you can blanch your broccoli, and then another pot for the rice. And whichever rice you choose, you can choose jasmine, brown rice, basmati. It's honestly up to you. So now we're gonna move into the process of prepping our vegetables. What we wanna do is make sure that whatever pot you have on, get a large pot and make sure the water is boiling and just let it do its thing. What we're gonna do is gonna grab our broccoli, find yourself a nice sharp knife. And the beauty of broccoli itself, that it does not take very long to boil. So about maybe 5 minutes at the most in boiling hot water will get you the results that you need. And then what we're gonna do is move on to cutting up the pepper itself. So typically what I usually do is I'm gonna cut the ends, and then you'll cut it down just in the middle here. Remove the stem, there's no use. Compost as well. And we're gonna cut this down again. And then once we're cutting it down, what you wanna do is use the blade, press it down gently as you go around. You can remove the stem and the inside of the pepper itself, as is of no use. Compost as well. And then that way you can use all the entirety of the pepper and just not the insides. That's not really necessary. And then once we have this item here already cut up, we'll bring in our red cabbage as well. And the beauty of the cabbage and red pepper is that they both have the same structure, so they can cook roughly around the same time. So you don't have to stress about one cooking faster than the other. 10 minutes or so, so set yourself a timer so you know that when it goes off, and then just check for texture to make sure that they're fully cooked. Our next step now is gonna be cutting the green onions. What you're gonna need to do is make sure you have a little bowl of ice and get some cold water in there. So what that does is that when you cut the green onions, it's gonna hold its structure because it's such a delicate item. So as soon as you cut into it, it's gonna start breaking down. And once you throw it in cold water, the structure will remain intact. And what I typically do when I've been taught in my history is to make sure that I get a nice little piece of green onions, place it down, and you're gonna cut it at an angle as such. And in a fluid motion, your hand is going up and down. The key is to make sure you're watching your fingers. So what you wanna do is make a claw with your hands, make sure that the blade is going against your knuckle and not trying to cut your finger. So be very attentive. We're gonna place them in this cold ice water here, and it's gonna hold their shape, and as we go along, and by the time you're done cooking the rest of your meal, your garnish will be fresh and ready to go. I have a little spoon that I'm gonna use. Remember the Hoisin sauce first. I'm just gonna pour it into here. Put this aside. And then we'll go forward and grab the garlic, and it's up to your discretion as to how much garlic you'd like. Some people prefer more garlic, some people prefer less. I'm just gonna have like a little bit, almost like a half tablespoon worth of garlic. I'm gonna place that into the bowl itself. And then just like the garlic, it depends on how much spice you like. Yes, sriracha is not that spicy, but to some people it can be more of an issue and they would not like that. So we'll go on the milder side. So I have a tablespoon, toss that in there. Give it a nice little stir. And then for a nice tangy flavor, what you wanna do is grab yourself a nice lemon, and then you're gonna have lime, don't know where that lime come from. Grab a lime and you're gonna zest it into the sauce itself. And once you're done with that, just a little bit of zest, you're gonna stir, and we're gonna move on to now start cooking the beef itself. I have my blanching pot, which is the largest pot I do have in my possession, and then I have a pan. So this pan is heating up. So what you wanna do is get the pan to like a high medium. The beauty of the human body is this, right? If you use the back of your hand, you can figure out the temperature of whatever you're cooking much better than the inside of your hand. So if you just do this, raise your hand over it, you will feel that it's getting really hot. And at that point, you will throw your beef in. And with beef, you don't need any oil cooking with beef because beef is very fatty in itself, unlike other meats. What you're gonna do is you're gonna grab a little bit of beef, and just toss it in here. There we are. And just let it do its thing. We'll slowly let it cook, keeping an eye on it and making sure that it doesn't get too hot. Monitor the heat. And I have this small size medium pot here. My rice has been cooking. I have jasmine rice, that's what I chose. I'm letting it cook here. And then typically once the rice is done cooking, just leave it on the hot stove, but turn it off and just let the residual heat keep cooking the rice. The key with blanching vegetables is when you are cooling them down, cool them in cold water. So pull them directly into cold water, or else the residual heat from the hot water is gonna keep cooking the vegetables, and then you're gonna lose the nutrients in the vegetables itself. So now we're gonna come back to the beef, and we're just wanna make sure that we don't overcook the beef. Stir it up a little bit, because as the protein in the meat combines together, it makes one object. So what you wanna do is break it down a little bit. I'm gonna break it down, and as you can see now, with the fact that it's smoking up, that can only indicate that my heat is too high. So what I'm gonna do is go from the medium high to a low heat. There we are. We're just gonna keep breaking it down as we go. At this point, I'm gonna turn off the stove. Perfect. Voila. Now the beef is cooked. Just let it cool down for a little bit, and then we're gonna get our dish together. All right, so now we have all ingredients is ready. We have our beef, we have the rice, and our vegetables that we threw in the oven for 10 minutes or so. And then we have our garnish right here. We have our blanched broccoli and our sauce. So what we're gonna do is make it a little nice plate to make it look cute. Thank you very much for watching, and by the way, you can subscribe to our channel. We're all over on YouTube. We have an Instagram account at Nutrimeals. We have a TikTok account at Nutrimeals as well, so please follow, subscribe, and we have more videos coming in. Roughly every other 2 weeks we'll have a video coming in with our new menu rotation, so please stay tuned. We have more to come. Thank you.